Well, in terms of global gatherings, Iran is one country which is quite often kept off the international guest list. So something of a surprise then when the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon asked the country to take part in those Syrian peace talks that we've just been discussing. But it's not the only area where there seems to be a thaw in relations between Iran and the rest of the international community. The UN's Atomic Agency has confirmed the country has begun shutting down some of its nuclear enrichment programme. So is Iran finally coming in from the cold? Well, for more on this, let's go to our World Newsroom and speak to my colleague Tom Donkin, who is there, I think, with the Persian service. Tom, over to you.
Hi, John. Yeah, we're up on the Persian TV's TV studio, your counterpart down there, to ask the question, are they coming in from the cold? The question you just posed a second ago. And it's an interesting one because over here, over here in London and the West, we get quite excited about any development in Iran. But the best people to talk to are our Persian TV service. And I'd like to introduce you to their news editor, Amir Azimi. Now, Amir, are we getting ahead of ourselves? Basically, are we right to be so surprised by these two developments today out of Syria?
I think we should, because these are pretty much very big agreements that have been achieved, and lots of time and effort have been put into this to get us to this point. So, and many things could have gone wrong. As a result of that, I can say yes, it was huge news, very exciting, very newsworthy. So, yeah.
And just going back to the nuclear issue for a moment, there is a change there. Obviously, the IAEA have confirmed that. But what's caused it? I mean, there's been political change in the country, but have the sanctions actually worked?
Sanction had basically put lots of pressure on Iran's economy. In the past year, Iran lost more than half of its revenues from selling of oil. And even though they could sell part of the exporting oil to the world, but it was really challenging and difficult to get the money that they achieved from the selling the oil back to the country and using it to buy what they needed and bring it to the country. And one should have it in mind that Iran's economy is highly related and relying on the imports to get it going. So you can see how enormous the pressure could have been, and it was putting ordinary people's life in really difficult situations. So.
Now, it is worth reminding our viewers that we're not actually reporting from inside Iran at the moment. The authorities have judged against that. How does that affect our reporting here in London on topics concerning Iran?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have access, first-hand access to Iranian authorities, so we can't put forward questions that we would like to ask them and our audience would like us to ask them. Although we have good access to this side of the story, which is happening in Europe and the United States. We have reporters and correspondents here and there, and to cover that side of the story, which is still very important. But as you mentioned, it is really difficult. For example, now the program which is happening behind us is a phone-in program from Iranian people. They basically use our program to give their views to other Iranians and talk about and analyze what is happening regarding Iran's issues outside Iran. This is something that they cannot do with domestic media. So.
Okay, Amir, thank you very much. And John, we better go because the Persian TV service is due back on air any moment now, and we always like to keep our colleagues happy up here.
Okay, get out the way. Tom, thank you very much indeed for that. Let's move on to